Did you ever ask yourself the question, do I really have a wonderful life? A lot of people do. Some people think their life isn't worth living, especially at this time of year when the holidays are close. They don't feel successful. They don't feel as though their life really matters. In the movie, It's a Wonderful Life, Jimmy Stewart never realized just how his life had impacted that of others. And through the course of the movie, starting with his younger brother, all the way up and through his Uncle Billy, there were so many people whose lives he affected. It really proved how wonderful a lot of his friends were when there was a run on the bank during the Great Depression's beginning, and that wonderful building and loan stayed afloat because his friends decided to stand by him for the most part. When you think back through the course of your life, how many people have you really affected? Back in 1982, my brother had lost his job in the steel mills right outside of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. His unemployment had run out, and he really didn't have anything to do. And I offered him a position in sales. He said, "I've never sold before." I said, "It's not important. We can teach you how to sell. If you have the want to, I can show you the how to." Well, he provided the want to. And with the how to, guess what happened? In 1983, he made a six-figure salary. And nothing makes me happier than when I think back to how that impacted his life, because here we are 33 years later, and he is still carving a career in the wonderful business of sales. I want you to consider the fact that overall, through the course of the movie, George continues to be made aware of how many people he impacted. To prove my point about paying it forward, think about George saving his brother. He saved his brother from the icy pond. In turn, his brother was there to save the transport during World War II. Hundreds of men were saved. Hundreds of families were affected because of one action way back in 1919. So when you consider all of the different possibilities, think about how you help and you have the ability to impact the lives of those around you. Never miss an opportunity to help someone. Never miss an opportunity to provide something for someone that will make their life better. Because in the long run, you may be helping tens or hundreds or who knows, even thousands of people's lives as they move forward by a single action of goodwill towards men. But success isn't always measured in career, goals met, or income or status. Sometimes, as is referenced in the movie It's a Wonderful Life, it's measured by the number of friends that you have. In August of 2009, I received a call that really no one ever wants to receive. My wife's nephew had passed away. Kevin was a wonderful young man who contracted cancer towards the end of his childhood into his late teens. And he battled as best as he could, but the cancer continued to come back and eventually took his life. During a very trying time, as a funeral can be for anyone, my sister-in-law asked me to deliver the eulogy. I must tell you, while I was flattered, it was a little bit intimidating. But for many years, as Kevin was suffering, I continued to send him emails. Some were funny, some were motivational, and I never realized just what impact they were having on him. But I found out after he passed away from his mom, my sister-in-law, my wife's sister, that he looked forward to those emails. They made him laugh, some made him think, some made him cry. But he knew that somebody really cared. And frankly, I'm not the only one that cared. But I wanted to do something to help ease his mind, to take his mind away from the possibility that cancer may take his life, which inevitably it did. Kevin had a wonderful life. He impacted many people. He actually started a flag football tournament in his backyard. His backyard ended up being nothing but mud and a few sprigs of grass here and there because they played so many games. And it was the Fat Boys Football League, which is kind of funny because Kevin really wasn't that heavy. Frankly, I am. And I guess I could have been a participant if I was in good shape. Kevin was a deep thinker, one of the most popular people on North Carolina State's campus before he became ill. So the time came for me to give a eulogy. Kevin's funeral was the first funeral in a brand new church. You could smell the brand new pine. You could smell the newness of the carpet. Everything about this church was brand new. It was born. And the first official service was death. Strange, don't you think? When I got up to the lectern and I turned around, I was amazed. There was literally no room in this church. Well over 1,000 people had crammed into this church to celebrate the life of Kevin, our nephew. And after extending sympathies and condolences to the family and friends that attended, I asked everyone to think back of how they've impacted someone's life. And I asked them to think internally, quietly, self-reliantly, if you will, how Kevin may have touched or impacted their life. And I ended the eulogy by saying what Clarence says in the movie It's a Wonderful Life. Every time a bell rings, an angel gets its wings. And then I ended by saying, the next time you hear a bell ring, know that Kevin got his wings. My son Stephen accompanied me, as well as most of my family that were able to attend the service. And we were walking out after the service was over. And we got into the vestibule of the church. And as soon as we got there, we heard the longest, loudest bell peal that you could ever imagine. And my son Stephen turned to me and he said, "You made that happen, didn't you?" I said, "No." He said, "You knew that was going to happen." I said, "No, I didn't." I said, "However, Kevin got his wings." And I want you to know that later that afternoon, numerous people, not because of the words I said, but the words that were inspired for me to say, came to me and told me how comforted they were. And when the bell rang out, they knew that Kevin was in a better place. They knew that Kevin was where he was supposed to be. So right now, ask yourself this: are you where you're supposed to be? Are you helping someone else today? Did you help someone yesterday? Or will you think of helping someone tomorrow? Because you could be helping them earn their wings, or you might be put in a position to earn your wings yourself.
Look, Daddy, teacher says every time a bell rings, an angel gets his wings.
That's right. That's right. Attaboy, Clarence.